There we go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hi, welcome. So, normally I channel a message on Monday, but I was inclined to ask a question, right? It's a really simple question. What if you found God or met God right now, what would you do? If you found or met God right now, if it helps to remove the name God, you can say divine consciousness or whatever you want. But what if you were to meet that consciousness right now, today, right now? Let's say you were face to face with God, if that's possible. Mhm. What would that mean to you? What do you think would happen for you if you actually encountered God right this second? What do you think would happen for you? Now, let's look at a couple. Hi, Drew. So good to see you. Hi. So consider that the attributes science and theology agree on two different things. Um, they agree on two different things. One thing that what science calls energy, religion calls God. The attributes of God, according to religion, are all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere present. And science refers to energy in the same context that energy is the only substance known to exist. It can't be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one state to another. It's everywhere. And if it's everywhere, that means it's all omnipresent. If it's omnipresent, does that mean then that energy is all knowing? And if it's the only existing power, then it's all powerful. So science and theology are speaking about the same thing, just having different structural contexts for it. But let's assume that right now, today, you're going to meet God. You don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Let's just go along with this, and I hope your mind is working on what what would it mean for you if you met God. What would you do? What would you say? I want you to really think about this and really give it some thought. Again, if you're not religious, if you're um, um, agnostic, if you are um, you do not believe in God, you just believe that we're going to become worm food after the body ceases to function. Still, consider the possibility. What would happen if you met God right now? All knowing, all powerful, everywhere present. Those are the attributes of both energy, according to science, and God, according to religion. These two diametrically distinct forms of evaluating the universe come to the same conclusion about something they do not know. Science does not know God, but it knows energy. Religion postulates that it knows God and that it doesn't need to understand the concept of energy because God is all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere present. But what would you do? What do you think would happen for you if you met God right now? I'd really like to know. So share some comments. Someone saying, if I met God right now, I'd probably yell because of what he let others do. Wow, that's one way. Now, if if that is true, okay, let's go back to the attributes of God. If that is true, all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere present. I'm just wondering, Joan of Arc, who talked to God regularly and was guided to command armies at a very young age in France, no less. And yet she refused to recant that she spoke with the divine. And she maintained that to her last breath. She maintained that she did indeed communicate and was in a relationship with the divine that told her what to do. Others throughout history, like Nikola Tesla, purported to receive visions or inspirations. And we've heard telltale of this from many other innovators and inventors throughout history, where they get an inspiration or an idea. So if God is all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere present, is it possible that you are exactly where that all knowing mind wants you to be right now? Is that a possibility? but that if you had a chance to actually interact with it, what would you say? What would you do? Some person here said they would yell at God. That's okay. If God is all knowing and all powerful, then that's what he would want you to do, I presume. Pamela saying, I would just constantly tell him how much I love him, which he already knows. I would be very tempted to join him and leave this earth. Lisa saying, I'd say thank you for it all. Um, Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Uh, yeah, remember, it's not about being right or wrong. It's just an honest question for you to consider. Let's look at the logistics of your consciousness. You're hearing these words coming into your ears from this place that I'm in the middle of nowhere particular. But you're hearing those words, and there's a part of you observing the words that are being presented to your awareness from the ears receiving the sound wave. There's a part of you observing thoughts coming in the form of words and language. So there's you, because you have no idea what next word I'm going to say. But when you hear it, you know what the word is. And so, how then are you able to observe what is being said and understand it? How are you able to do that? Does that mean that the thoughts that you have in your mind or thoughts and ideas you receive from other people are not you, that maybe you are not your thoughts? And what would that mean? I was told to keep it very simple this morning, just to consider today if you were to meet God, what do you think might happen for you? What would you say? What would you like to hear? Consider that today. And even if you do not believe that God exists, experiment with it. Explore the possibility that there is, according to science, an ever-present energy. That's all there is. It can't be created, it cannot be destroyed, it can only be changed from one state to another. So I've been contemplating this question myself, and I think I've come to the place where in communing or connecting with God, I would simply listen. I'd say, you tell me. Think about that. An all knowing, omnipresent, omni powerful consciousness, which means it would be impossible for it to make a mistake. So either I'm going to listen to it or I'm going to ask it, what is the best way I can manage certain situations and circumstances? But I really want you to consider that question today. What would you do if you met God right this second or sometime during this day? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Think about it. All knowing, all powerful, everywhere present. Is it possible then that I'm actually speaking to God right now when I address you? Or that you are listening to God when you hear me? If it is omnipresent, then that would be a logical conclusion to come to, wouldn't it? That if God is everywhere present, then thou art God. Thou art God. It's something to consider, though, because we think that most people think that God is something somewhere out there. And I want you to understand that I believe that God is something that is what you are. When you get the idea of separateness sorted out in your mind, you realize you're not your thoughts. If you are not your thoughts, then who are you? If you can observe and evaluate your thoughts, who are you that's observing? Are you the name that was given to the body? Do you believe that the name you were given is who you are? Think about that. And if you can evaluate thoughts and evaluate memories, then who is the one doing the evaluating? Who are you that is evaluating? It's a really important consideration. If God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, where do you think God is right now? He's right here, right now. Archangel Gabriel, about a year and a half ago, told me something very fascinating. in a meditation I forget, I think it was Master Buddha was doing a meditation. No, it was Archangel Gabriel doing a meditation with one of our classes. And during the meditation, I'm just feeling this incredible bliss inside. And Gabriel says, be very careful. If you fall inside the bliss of God, you may not be able to get out. And I laughed really hard to understood the meaning of that. That if you fell into pure bliss, why would you come out? So in your exploration today, when you consider that question, what what would you do if you found God right now? What would you do? What would it mean for you? What might it mean if you knew you could speak to that consciousness that is all knowing? And not just speak to it, what about if you could listen to it? Because a lot of people have trouble listening because they're hearing their own thoughts all the time. But what if you could put your thoughts, your personal considerations aside and ask a single question of the divine and say, ask this question and see if you can get an answer that doesn't come from your own mind. See if you can be open and receptive to receiving an answer from somewhere other than your own mind. I challenge you to do that today, and I encourage you to send me your ruminations and your thoughts about what you experienced. Right? Even if you're an atheist, there's certain logical things that even an atheist has to consider. How are you able to watch your thoughts? Where do you get new ideas from? Where did the first human get the idea of making a wheel? There are some logical questions that bear forth really interesting considerations. So even if you don't believe in God, but you consider what his attributes are as defined by religion, or energy's attributes of what science is at understanding what the attributes of energy are. That both science and religion agree that there's an all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere present something, whether you call it the God of religion or the energy of science. There's something that exists. That something is beating your heart right now, right this second. You put your hand on your chest and ask yourself the question, what is making my heart beat? Where does that effect originate? And a neurologist might say that effect of your beating heart probably resides in your brain, in your memory of genetic information. That's what one might say. And then you'd have to ask, well, if that is stimulating the heartbeat in my brain is stimulating the heart to beat, then what is causing that in my brain to have that effect that caused my heart to beat? So there's certain chains of logic you can follow that might lead you to a perception that you'll have to really give some deep consideration to. You cannot have an effect without a cause, nor a cause without an effect. It's scientifically impossible. It's one of the only impossibilities that exists in creation, which is what makes it so difficult for scientists to consider that there is a first cause. Because if there's a first cause, what caused that? And of course, this has led to multiverses and different dimensional perceptions. But just for your own pursuit and understanding, where do your thoughts originate? What stimulates the brain to stimulate your heart to beat? What is inside your body that tells the apple to become blood and skin and bone? What is this alchemical consciousness that exists within your own body that is able to transmute one substance into another? We see it all the time. You do it every day. Every time you eat a meal, you put that in there and it comes out as this, your body. So there's a consciousness within you that is orchestrating transformation and change, and you're not even aware of it most of the time. Most people swallow their food, and that's the last you think about it until you go to the washroom, perhaps. But there's something, isn't there? There's something that orchestrates what's going to happen with that apple when you eat it. or the orange or the salad or the steak or whatever it is that you choose to eat. Something that you depend on takes that and converts it into something completely different. And we see that with a seed planted in the soil, and the seed becomes a tree, something it wasn't even before. So I'm just curious if that possibility occurred for you right now and God was right before you, what then? All knowing, all powerful, everywhere present. It's an area of inquiry that came up for me this morning to share. And again, normally I'd channel a message, but I've been really thinking a lot about this, about meeting the divine. And not just meeting it, but knowing it. Not just en passant, but really getting intimate with the intelligence that can take an apple and turn it into blood and skin and bone. To get in contact with an intelligence that made universes and planets and babies and fingernails, right? There's something that's doing that for all of us. Even now, it doesn't matter what biological age your body is, there are transformational processes going on in your body that no scientist can replicate. A scientist, if you give them an apple and you say, turn this into a human flesh, they won't be able to do it. They cannot take the apple and know exactly, because when you swallow an apple, there's something in your body that knows how many white blood cells, red blood cells, blood sugar levels, biochemistry, the assimilation of the properties of that material that you're going to consume. There's an intelligence that knows how to orchestrate that apple into the various parts of your physiology, or any food for that matter. Something orchestrates it into incredible things. But no scientist can do that. If you give an apple to a scientist, and tell him to make blood and skin and bone from that apple, he's going to laugh at you because he can't do it. It can't be done. But there's something in you right now that does that for you all of the time. Aren't you curious about that? I hope you're curious that there's something in you that can change one substance into another all the time for you. It does it every single day, every time you consume. I, I, I saw God's bright white light at the park afterwards. Everything was beaming with white light, the grass, trees, people, children, the street, 5+ minutes. Congratulations. That's a wonderful experience to have. Uh, that could be possible, but that's really amazing. Um, Daniela. Hi, Bartman. Good to see you. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, it wasn't someone saying I would ask for wisdom how to handle challenges of life. That's a really good one to ask God. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Glad to have you here. People suck assuming our government of the most high profile government, the rankings of the Anglican. Well, again, organized religion is very different than this consideration. If you encountered God right now, what would that mean for you? Forget about what religion has told you about God or what science has told you they don't know about God. Forget about what anybody else has told you about God and consider for yourself if you could meet the creator of all life as we know it and you could have a communication with him. What would that be? Again, I'm using the male version of that him. It might be an it, but I presume it's him. It's a male. Um, Hi there, Chris. Chris is saying, I'd say thanks for the blessed life I've given. Yes, yes, yes. We are all a piece of God. That's a wonderful consideration too. Um, Hi, Drusilla. Hi, Kira. Good to have you here today. Wonderful. Electromagnetic energy impulse is God. We are all of it. Yes, we are. We are that too. Lots of questions coming from YouTube today. So I've got 19 new considerations. Let's find them. Let's see. Oh, just liking live. Hi, Bartman. Thank you so much. Yeah. But I just wanted everybody to consider that today. A very impersonal day for me. I just gonna chill for today. Now, please remember that this video will be up on my YouTube channel under the live videos. So please go to my YouTube channel, William Michael Forbes, and put a comment in the comment section under this video about what your thoughts are about if you were to meet God right this second. Right? Yeah, like if you literally found God right now, share your comments, your ideas about that. Even if you're an atheist and you don't believe there is such a thing, be creative. Just if there were an all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere present being, what would your encounter with that consciousness be? I'm going to leave you all with that consideration today, and I'm going to wish you all a wonderful and joyful day. Come and join me on the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. We really look forward to having you around, and please remember, make comments and have yourselves a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.